Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here. If it's your first time, welcome. My name is Thea. I'm going to talk about my tattoos today. I made one other video talking about my tattoos and it was about a year ago, and I have 3 new ones since then, so I wanted to give you a little update and also talk about some potential removal plans, but we'll get there. So let's start with the tattoos. I'm just going to real quick go through all of my tattoos, talk about when I got them, etc. And then we'll get to the next part. My very first tattoo was a stick and poke that I got done in my car and I did part of it myself, and it's on my finger and it says this. And it's kind of a reminder to be present and not wait for life to start, but remember that this is life. So that was the very first one I got. And then I also, around that same time, started to do a stick and poke of a bird, like right here, but it never got finished. So I have the marking of that on there still. My first like real tattoos done by a tattoo artist were at the beginning of my senior year of high school. I was 17, and obviously at 17 you can't sign for yourself, you can't legally get a tattoo in a lot of states, even with parental consent. So I am from Massachusetts, and in Massachusetts, even with parental consent, I couldn't get the tattoo. So I actually drove with my mom and my best friend to Connecticut, and she signed for me and I got 2 tattoos there. So the ones I got on that trip were this one on my arm, which says agape, which is one of the types of love in Greek. And then I got this bird on my rib cage which also like kind of covers the stick and poke bird, but not completely. So those are the first 2 ones that I like really got. Then a few months later, toward the end of my senior year, on my 18th birthday, I got this one, which my grandfather drew, and it's a man looking through a microscope at Earth exploding, and it's a metaphor, and it's special to me because my grandpa drew it. And yeah, so I got that one on my 18th birthday. Flash forward 1 year and a little bit of change. I went through a breakup from a pretty toxic, abusive relationship, and I wanted to get a tattoo to commemorate what I had gone through and how I had made it through and that kind of thing. So I also had been looking at some drawings by one of my favorite artists, Ariel Kellogg, and she posted like some little sketches, and I saw this picture of a snake and I was like, I want that. And actually the more I did research on snakes and kind of the meaning behind them, the more it really just fit with what I had gone through. Snakes represent growth and change because they shed their skin, so that was a really big part of it, to represent the change and the growth that I had gone through from that relationship. And also, before Christianity ruined snakes with the whole Adam-Eve situation, snakes actually represented women. And so I thought that was also duly empowering. So I chose to get a snake on my hip drawn by Ariel Kellogg. And yeah, so that was maybe last May or like the very beginning of June that I got it. Okay, so I got the snake, and next to it I also got this little sun. Just liked the idea of having a little sun next to the snake, so I got it. So the next tattoo I got was August or September, I think it was September, and I got it in New York. It was my first tattoo in New York. The rest were in the Boston area / Connecticut. I got this flower on my arm by a really awesome tattoo artist. I'll leave the handles of the tattoo artists that I recommend down below. I'm not gonna recommend the ones that I had not great experiences with, but I'll get to that. And a few months after that, maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, I got this little lady riding a butterfly next to her. So yes, those are currently all of my tattoos. Now I'm gonna talk about getting them removed, which is not something I ever thought I'd be talking about, but anyway, hear me out. I've always wanted tattoos. Like, since I can remember, I've always just known that I was gonna have tattoos, and I still feel that way completely. Like, I identify with having tattoos and it feels great for me. However, I tend to be a rather impulsive person and not always think my decisions through all the way, if you're catching my drift. I'm not getting all my tattoos removed, and I don't even have concrete plans to get them removed like in the calendar, but I am saving up to get some of them removed. And here's why. Honestly, this is what it's like to be in my brain, because it really fluctuates like every day. Some days I wake up and I just want some of them off, and it just like, I feel it in my core and I just like want them off, and it drives me crazy. Other days, I look at those same tattoos and I'm like, I like you, you can stay. So it's a constant back and forth. And obviously removal is not cheap. It's so much more expensive than actually getting a tattoo, like leaps and bounds more expensive, which I'll also talk about. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So there are 4 tattoos that I am considering having removed. The first one is a copy, which this is one of the ones where I like really do go back and forth, because on the one hand, I kind of love her, and you know, she represents love to me and it's beautiful. On the other hand, I'm not loving the font I chose, and I just wouldn't get anything written tattooed on me again, I don't think. I mean, I say that now, things could change. This one I'm not like in love with, but it doesn't really bother me that much, but I would get it removed. If I were to get the other ones removed, I would also get this one removed, because it wouldn't actually add that much more to the total price. So that's kind of why I would just throw this one in there when I get the other ones removed. The other one I'm considering getting removed, and this is not at all the fault of the tattoo artist. I want to emphasize that she did a beautiful job. She did exactly what I wanted. Literally, this is most people's favorite tattoo that I have. And every time I tell someone that I'm probably gonna get it removed, they freak out because it's so well done. So this is not like anything that she did wrong. This is simply because I impulsively made the decision to get this tattoo without thinking about if I really wanted it. And now that I have it, I am feeling like it's just too big and I just don't want it. So that is the flower one that I'm probably gonna get removed. And I'm sad about it because it's so beautifully done, but this one is the one that really bothers me the most, because I just didn't realize how big it was. And I think for a while when I was getting tattoos, it felt kind of like rebellious and sexy to get big tattoos when everyone's like, get small ones, you know, don't go too big. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get the biggest tattoos ever. And now I'm like, but why did I do that? So that's why I want this one off. Also, a huge reason why I want to get some of my tattoos off is for my career. And this is like also something that I go back and forth with in my head, because while I want to get some of my tattoos removed, I still want to get more tattoos. Like, I'm not done by any means, but I want to be more thoughtful with my tattoo endeavors from here on out and really think about it more rather than like seeing something. It's kind of like the same impulse shopping thing that I've talked about in my low-buy videos, but I'm just a very impulsive person. It's just how I've always been, and I'm really trying to work on it, and I definitely am better than I was, like, for sure. But as like a little briefing on what I want to do for my career, in case anyone doesn't know, I am a singer and actor, and I do some freelance modeling too. Singing is my main thing, like music and that kind of thing is my #1 top priority for my career, but acting and modeling also are there, and I'm really just trying to build a platform for myself where I am able to be creative. And so recently I have gotten some glimpses into some real modeling opportunities that are super exciting to me, and it's made me really realize like these are things that I could be doing, and having all these tattoos is giving them a reason not to hire me, essentially. Not saying that you can't be an actor with tattoos, especially now, you really can. Same being a model with tattoos, it's so much easier to do that now than it was, say, 10, 20 years ago. But even so, and even while that's true, if it's between two people and they both have the same qualifications and they both have the same credentials and one of them has a bunch of tattoos and one doesn't, realistically they're gonna go with the one that doesn't because it's just less work for them, less time and less money. And it lowers your hireability, if you will, to just have a lot of tattoos. And that's not saying that like I'm not gonna end up with a lot of tattoos, because end goal, I'm a singer, I'm controlling my own life, and I'm covered in tattoos. So that's still like what I want, but I'm not there yet. And until I'm there, I don't want to jeopardize my chances of getting there, kind of thing, if that makes sense. The other ones that I want to get rid of are, okay, so the agape, the flower, the snake. Let me talk about the snake. This is really sad because the snake on my hip that I got for my breakup, drawn by Ariel Kellogg, is one of my favorite tattoos that I have, and I don't want to get rid of it, in theory. However, the tattoo artist that did it is awful. Really sad about it. I actually went to the same tattoo studio that I went to for this one, and this one is beautiful, beautifully done, perfect line work. Loved the artist that did this. But the snake on my hip, that tattoo artist just fucked it up, and it's sad. I'll show you like a little zoomed in clip, but basically what he did is he pressed too hard with the needle, or at least this is what I've heard from other tattoo artists that have asked about it. He pressed too hard with the needle, causing the ink to spread and kind of like blur a little bit, and then also causing there to be an excess amount of scar tissue created, which caused like a bump. So my tattoo is like elevated, it's blotchy, it's blurry, it's just awful. And then the sun next to it, I don't really know what he did here, but it just looks like a mole that I should have removed is what I'll say. And so this is really sad because while I'm definitely gonna get this tattoo removed, I plan on getting it redone after by obviously a different artist. So it's a bummer that I'm gonna have to go through like all of that trouble just to end up with the tattoo that I already have but done well. But I think it's worth it because this one is just so janky looking, honestly. And it's really sad because it's one of my favorites, so that's a bummer. And then the last one that I want to get removed but like maybe won't do right away is the bird on my rib cage. This one is pretty low-key, like I'm not in a rush to get it removed. I might not even, most people don't even see it, and sometimes I actually really like it, so this one is one that I go back and forth on. But yeah, that's why I want to get these removed. But realistically speaking, I won't be able to for a while. I had a consultation to get 3 to 4 of them removed. I went in, showed them the tattoos, and they like assessed what the damage would be. I went to the Finery in New York, but they have them all over the country. So if anyone is looking for tattoo removal, the Finery is amazing. Definitely recommend it. I had a super awesome experience in my consultation, and we'll definitely be going through them for the removal process. But basically, what I learned is that to get the 4 that I just mentioned removed, it would be about $6,000. Whew, which I certainly don't have, and no one that I know really has. Here's my plan for that. What I'm probably gonna do is get 3 of the 4 removed, which would bump the price down to $5,000. Also, the Finery does this monthly giveaway thing that I'm entered into, where they give away $1,000 towards a removal. So hopefully sometime I'll win, and then I'll get $1,000 off, and then it'll bump it down to $4,000. And then hopefully by the time all of this happens, I will have been saving for X amount of time and have the funds to be able to pay for it. So right now, I've canceled my plans to get tattoos for the rest of the year. I did have a tattoo appointment scheduled and was really excited, and I still want that tattoo, but I decided I shouldn't do that while I'm thinking about getting other ones removed. It just felt like a conflict of interest. So I'm not getting any tattoos for a good bit of time. I'm just trying to save up bit by bit and hopefully in the next year or so be able to start the removal process. That's my tattoo update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and think before you ink. Bye guys.